Welcome to Warblock. Today we're going to have a quick play at this. Essentially it's just the these Tahrir al-Sham units attacking these two locations. So that's Qasabiyeh and Qiratah. They take them, and then I think the Syrians sort of take them back, or they contest them. Sort of it's described as sort of major assault. It's a while back now, I think the 27th of June. I'm not going to play all the way through, but I thought I'd just give it a quick blast. I think the most obvious thing for starters is that there's only two units sort of defending all of that, and the key sort of assault force is kind of this, with rocket support there and there. Now all these other units, it's not really my intention that they're sort of to do anything, so that'll be a sort of holding line, and this will be a holding line. Obviously that unit is going to be sort of doing something, and these are sort of more support for, you know, any sort of potential strike this way. So these are all sort of countering these, and these countering these, so to speak. So this is just the attack here, and then these units will come in to stop the attack. That's pretty much what's happening. So in the first instance, you can sort of tell because these are all 113s, irregulars, 113, 113, 113, that this is 123, which makes them much tougher in offence, but they're quite formidable in defence. So let's start off with some rocket fire here. Just have 1.2 to get there, so we can probably get into there. I thought they might do better than that, but obviously there are more than 5. I should put some of these other units out and reinforce that. Okay, and we'll fire these rockets onto this. Okay, so there's an attack coming in here. Alright, can't overstack. So that's the stacking limits. Everything else is going to stay stationary, so they're holding their ground, so they're going to recover from 2.25 to 1.25. Okay, so rocket fire again. .6, 0.8, down to 3 point whatever. Let's just have another look at this. So I can add another 10% by doing that. I'm trying to do it with the got them 2 to 1. Probably didn't need that extra 10%, but we got them. That was fortunate. Can't move in there though. No problem. Let's fire some artillery onto this. And that's right, because they were whittled down, so we suddenly got our bonus because they weren't worth more than 5. That's interesting. Okay, so we've got more units. Do we want to move back in there? Yes. A bit suicidal, but there's the cavalry's coming, so okay. Well, we're not dug in now. Let's see what we can do. Well, so let's send all my artillery onto that. Let's just see what I can do. 1.3. 1.1. Let's take the 4 down. We don't need that. 1.2, leaving him at 7.4. No, not sure what I want to do here. I think I'm going to push him out because he's 1.5. Doubled. 3. And he's going to be slightly more. So I want to do something before this lot arrive. I'm going to do these two. It's tight. I can't think what the odds will be. I think they should be about 2 or 3 to 1. I'm hoping a 3-to-1. An exchange. No. And then I was going to do that, you see. Or move in. 3-1, 2-to-1, and an exchange. Let's see, I could have done. I tried to get both. Have my cake and eat it. They could have both won, but could have done all 4 of them or 3 of them onto that, and then advanced. Because now the Syrians have got their air power. And a bunch of troops. Well, we can't use those because they're sort of from the other defensive force, but 3-to-1 DE. Okay. Well, we should have used them because they're not in the defensive area. It doesn't matter. Questions 3. Well, I think 2 artillery on this, 2 artillery on that. More rockets. Input 4. Routed them. Couldn't handle the pressure. Okay. So we take it. And here. Significant possibility to rout. Yep. Okay. Well, so we only lost 1 battle really. And here, that was so tight. That was sort of, I think it's not, I don't want to say it's a good simulation, but you know, that was really sort of, I mean, it's just down to the numbers, but I think you know, it really sort of represented a sort of a close call, because you know, you've got to do it in those first few turns like we just done there, and you know, it could equally well have not happened as these, because once these get into the game, you know, and this is pretty much what's actually happened. So what, Syrian air power. I'm watching through these sort of videos of the airstrikes, and you can almost envisage it really. You just sort of see these towns on the horizon. The thing that always gets me is whoever's recording it, there's always a bird singing. It's quite peaceful and warm and idyllic, and then in the distance you see these huge clouds, and you see these ominous symbols like, you know, sort of characters and people and shapes coming up in these huge mushroom clouds from these explosions and airstrikes. It's probably what's happening there. It's probably someone filming it there, sending it to YouTube. Okay, so we want to sort of split up now. I think the thing to do would be to get as much around here as we can in the first instance. See what we can do here. Oh, an exchange. They're just not very good against 2. They've got air power, you see. Okay, well, we just want to hold in there for 1 more turn. Okay, so more airstrikes coming down onto this lot. Hmm. I think we're going to try and recover there. Okay, so the next thing they can do is either hold their ground or retreat. Well, this is a hefty stack. So let's just pile some of these rockets onto it. Look at that. 4.5, 5.2. I think it's still going to be pretty tough, so we're going to leave that. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at that. I think other than rebalancing the gameplay, I think we can say that that's a al-Sham victory, because they pushed the front line down to there. You know, they're clearly not sort of trying to engage in massive conflict. I think they'll probably just focus on air power strikes onto these, but at the same time they don't want to be within range of these constant rocket barrages. You know, they're already at 50%. I mean, I could have attacked them this turn, but I think they would be over 5, which means we wouldn't get the bonus, so it'd be like a 1 to 2. But you know, after next turn with more of that, they would have to, we would be able to attack them. And so I think the Syrians, in this case, will be forced to retreat. Maybe back to that sort of line. So they, in this scenario, they've lost these 2 towns. So instead of having their front line like that, it's like that. But I think if you were to replay the video and watch it through, you can see that it was only really this much chance, because I think it could go both ways. But I mean, it could have gone both ways, depending on whether or not those attacks succeeded. And it wasn't necessarily the attacks that did it; it was always rocket power. I mean, obviously, I think on balance, I could say, I could change the balance of units and maybe not have so many rockets. But I think that's fairly well balanced in sort of for a small game. Quite happy with that. And I think it could go both ways. And like I always say, I mean, it's always history doesn't repeat itself in that sense. But if you could do history again and again, just about every major victory could equally well have been a major loss. I mean, even things like Waterloo. I mean, if you were to just not so much play it again differently, but if you were to just do it again as a sort of an automated simulation, you could probably find that if you did it 1,000 times, that you might have 500 wins for one side and 500 losses, or some balance or some significance. I mean, obviously, some scenarios and some battles, the winner would always win because they were so, they had such superiority. So we're not talking about what if historic scenarios, we're just talking about the natural variance of what could have happened. I mean, for example, if a person fires a machine gun at a pillbox, and you were to take that alternative reality sort of 500 times, some of those realities will result in the bullet going through the pillbox and hitting one of the key players inside, eliminating the pillbox, or something along those lines. But this is not down to sort of skill or strategy; it's just down to the mere luck and fortune of the kinetics involved. Similarly, I mean, if you're firing mortars, from here into here, and you miss, well, in an alternative reality, you might not have missed. It might have, the wind might blow a different way. They might have left 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds between, loading, and that could have cumulatively made a difference because one person moved from one place to another, etc., etc. I'm just talking about almost the butterfly effect on variance, and that's something I'm sort of quite interested in. I think that this game represents that, in the sense that you could probably play it multiple times and get different results just because of those sort of die rolls. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll speak later. Cheerio.